Hi, Jean here from the PDC, and I'm getting ready to do some gardening. Now, I'm not going to be able to garden outside because it's a little too cold for the plants to survive, but I've got my gardening hat on and I've got my gardening shirt on just so I get into the mood and I do a better job with my gardening. I'm going to do a little experiment. I'm going to do first plantings of seeds that come from found seeds in flowers that have been growing in people's gardens. These particular seeds came from our PDC garden. There's some marigold seeds shaken out of dried flowers, and I have some seeds that came from a store. They were developed in controlled environments in greenhouses, so they are almost guaranteed that they will plant and grow. But I'm just wondering, will seeds from just nature grow better? So we're going to do a little experiment and find out. Maybe you want to do an experiment with some seeds at home as well. Maybe you want to plant the same seeds but change the dirt, the soil. Maybe you want to change or experiment with the amount of water. So develop an idea of what you want to play around with, come up with a hypothesis or a prediction of what will happen, and then put your experiment to work.
Every good project begins with the end in mind, and I'm showing you what that looks like after I have my experiment all set up. If you'll notice, I didn't spend a lot of money. I only purchased the peat expansion pellets and the controlled seeds. Everything else were things I found around the house. I used takeout clear plastic containers to be my little mini greenhouses, and I used cottage cheese containers cut up to be my labels. As you choose your plants, it's important that you consider that you have the right plant for the right place. Boys and girls, you need to talk to mom and dad to make sure that your plant is going to have enough sun once it's planted outside, that it has enough space, and also that you wait for the last frost before you put it outside. The back of your seed packet will give you that clear information. To be sure that my seeds get the exact same treatment, I purchased peat expansion pellets, which gives each seed the same nutrients required for their starting and growth. You can see they start out narrow, you pour the water on, and they get thicker. Kids will love watching them expand over the growth of an hour. To give your seeds the best start, you do want to start with either a pellet like this or seed starting mix. It has just the right nutrients for a little baby seed to start. A common and frustrating error for many young gardeners is to forget to label their plants. You don't have to buy anything fancy. Find an old cottage cheese lid, cut it up into little strips, write the name of your seeds. I would put the date as well, and then just put that little label into your seed pod. I think we're ready to start planting. Let's see. We've got a place in the garden to put our marigolds. The peat pellets or a nice seed mix is ready to receive the seeds. I've got my labels ready. Let's start planting. I like to use a pencil to help me get the tiny seeds into the pellets and move the dirt around. So they say a rule of thumb is to plant your seeds 2 times as deep as the seed is wide, which with a marigold seed is not very deep. Then I'm going to add my label to make sure I remember which seed is where. This is especially important when you're doing an experiment and you have different types of seeds. I've got them all planted and labeled, about 2 seeds to each pellet, and I'm going to close it up so that it can capture the warmth of the radiator underneath and the sun that shines through the window outside. I also had some saved hollyhock seeds from my own garden, and I wanted to see how those saved seeds would compare with the controlled seeds from the store. So I also set up a similar experiment with my hollyhock seeds, which you can see here.
All right, my hard work is done. My seeds are planted in the pellets, getting all the good nutrients. I will continue to keep them moist and add water to the bottom, not on top, but water underneath. You'll be able to see them as I put posts on our PDC Facebook page for the Big Science Share. Now, I'm hoping that you plant some seeds and share your results on the PDC Facebook page. You could do an experiment if you'd like, as I mentioned earlier, or just plant some seeds and let's watch them grow. That's just exciting in and of itself. Then, after the last frost, mid-May, let's hope, we'll get to go outside and plant our baby plants in our gardens. And again, posting the results on the Big Science Share with the Paper Discovery Center. Thank you all and happy planting.